Hey guys, it's me, Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy. How are you doing today? Today we're going to talk about our favorite subject, which is sales. All right, we got a cool subject for ourselves today, so let's go ahead and dive right on into it. So what's our topic for today? Okay, I had somebody ask me this, and I thought I'd do a video on it because I've had quite a few people ask me if this is something that we should talk about. So I'm going to talk about it. Okay, it's called selling. Could smoking pot cause you to lose sales? Woo-wee. That's a pretty tough question to answer because, you know, in this day and age, we got a lot of people who want to smoke pot. I'm not going to say it's the right thing or the wrong thing. It's your thing. Whatever you want to do, it's up to you. And I'm just going to share some opinions so that way you can make an informed decision if it's something that you should do. Okay? So here we go. Let's just say, for instance, you know, I'm not going to ever say I ain't never done anything wrong. Can you see my eyes? I'm just going to say that. And here's one of the things that I've learned over my selling career. You know, pot's been around for a long time. People have been smoking it since forever. And in this regard, like I said, I don't want you to feel uncomfortable if I say some things that may hurt your feelings a little bit. But because I'm a salesperson, we deal with a tremendous amount of people. And the quality of marijuana today is real potent stuff. I'm just telling you, it'll either put you in a coma sitting on the doggone sofa, or it will be exciting and it will make you go in all kinds of positive directions, negative directions. And it can do a lot of things to you. Now, when you're working with customers, you need to be on your game. And I mean, you need to be on your game. You need to be able to listen properly. You need to be able to talk properly. And sometimes when you're using drugs, I don't know if it's illegal where you're at, or if it's a medical thing that you're taking, just be remembering this. If you're going to smoke pot, you might want to consider doing it when it's time to go home after work. Because I've seen some people, and I'm just going to say that when they smoked pot, they were all over the place. They forgot things. They forgot simple things. They were kind of zoned out. And I've had some people, they seem like they do really, really well on it. But we all have different chemistries. We have different bodies. We have different minds. And there are so many different strains of marijuana now that you have to be very careful what you take, because you don't really know if it's being regulated or what they're adding to it. And you don't want to be in front of a customer acting all weird. I've seen it. I've seen some people, they were stoned to the bone. They were feeling real good. You know, that's just, you know, what it is. But they were all over the place having a conversation with the customer. And I watch customers, and what they do is they look at your eyes. So if you're going to get high, you might want to put some red stuff in there. But like I said, I've seen some people who were high in this regard, and they acted confused. It took them off their game. After they came down, they were amped up to the max, and then when they came down, it was like they had to run out back to the car so they could get back to that level. You know what I'm talking about? I bet you do. Okay? And it was just kind of strange. People, they drug test in some companies. You get in a wreck while you're driving to and from a customer, unless you're a 1099, you could probably get fired from your company, because it's like drinking and driving. You shouldn't be doing it. And a lot of times, like I said, you shouldn't be drinking and working either, because it can cause you to do some things that, you know, are inappropriate. You may not remember things that you've said because of the hallucinogenic effects that it causes, and it could cause you to say some things that could be offensive to some people. Again, I'm not your mama, I'm not your daddy. I ain't telling you what you should do, but as far as a salesperson is concerned, pot should be done after work, just like people do with their drinking. You don't get drunk and you don't go to work and start talking to people because they can tell. And if you're a person who smokes pot, that's your prerogative. But remember, people are watching us, and you don't want to lose a good sale or an easy sale because you smelled like marijuana. I don't care how much cologne you put on. It's like cigarettes, baby. people know what's going on. And it just be, to thine own self be true. Again, I ain't judging nobody. You can smoke pot all you want, but when you're a salesperson, you got to remember people, they want to trust you. People buy from people they trust. And if they think that you're stoned and you're selling a product that is a very complex product, they may not trust you because they think maybe you're high on weed. Now, they may not call your supervisors and stuff, but what they'll do is they'll try to figure out a way to get out of having a conversation with you. And once you've hit that, there are some people that are still old-fashioned. They may say it's okay to drink and stuff, but they're old-fashioned, and they will probably say they can't do business with you because of whatever reason. Now, you can run into somebody who's young and they don't believe in smoking pot. You can run into people who are middle-aged, old, and then you've got all types of people that smoke pot from every age group. So I don't know what to tell you, but I just probably would recommend that if you like to enjoy smoking pot, that you do it at your leisure. And be very careful, because still it's illegal in a lot of states to be driving around and carrying marijuana with you. Okay? And if you get in an accident, just remember, guys, you can get in a lot of trouble. You can lose a great sales job. And I'm just saying, if you want to smoke pot, that's up to you. I ain't judging nobody. I'm not going to say I've never done anything. Just saying. But from personal experience dealing and working with people who are high, it's like management will eventually hear. As long as you're making money, you're doing real good. I don't care if you smoke a pot or not. As long as you're bringing in the bacon, a lot of times managers will overlook stuff, and I've seen it. I mean, I've seen it for my own self where people were able to do what they wanted to do, but once they started waning, started missing sales, started missing easy sales, started being late to meetings, started being late to people's appointments, or customers would call in and cancel an order because they just didn't feel comfortable with you. Just remember this one thing. You have to do what you want to do. But if I had to have a recommendation given to me, don't get high before you go and start talking to customers. Now, you may think it feels good, and maybe it does. There are some pots that are out there, sativas, and you got indigos, sativas, where you can build you up and give you all this energy, and then you got yourself a blah. Oh, crap, it got dark in here. So what I'm sharing with you is you have to feel comfortable in your own skin. And marijuana, they say it's not addictive. It could be a gateway drug for a lot of other drugs. And when you start doing things that can complicate your sales career, you may end up losing your sales career. And if you get pulled over by the police, if you get busted, I'm guarantee you will not be able to get a lot of great sales jobs. You cannot get, I'm telling you, in life insurance and a lot of different certifications, background checks are a big part of it. And if you've got a felony on your record, a lot of times they will not give you a chance. I don't care how good you are and that you made a mistake, but they hold that stuff against you. And I know there's a lot of states out there that are saying it's okay to smoke pot. So if you're in a state that says it's okay, it's up to you whether you want to maybe lose a close sale because people couldn't trust you because they, think about it. When you see somebody drunk, don't they seem kind of weird? If you see somebody stoned to the bone, they look all couch locked, and you know something ain't right, do you think that you would want to buy something from that person? It's a good question, right? Selling. Could smoking pot cause you to lose sales? Oh, yeah. It sure can. But you've got to do what you got to do. I'm not, like I said, I'm not your preacher. I'm more like a teacher. I've done some things in my life that I ain't real proud of. And back in the day, I did some things, and I'm pretty sure that I lost some close sales because of the things that I was doing. Now, cigarettes and vaping and smoking pot, they can all kind of fall under that umbrella, and I'm going to do a video about that too. But if you're out there smoking pot, and if you go to people's houses and you get hurt on their property, you may think that you can sue them. They may have recourse to be able to sue you, and they may also be able to sue your company for sending someone out to their home who was under the influence. That's scary, right? Under the influence. Again, what you do in your leisure time, that's your business. But for some people, they wake up in the morning, they get high from the time they wake up, from lunch, all the way until it's time for bed. And marijuana, you know, people like that stuff. I don't have anything against it. And I know sometimes it feels good, but it can become an addiction. It's just like tobacco. It can become an addiction where you got to have it all the time. And I'm just sharing this with you because I had a couple of people ask me what I thought about, you know, people who smoke pot. And I just really don't care. If that's what you want to do, if you want to drink, you want to do what you want to do, go ahead. But if I was a salesperson, I would probably say if it's a big sale or a sale in general, you might want to say maybe no at that time. But don't read into what I'm saying. If you want to smoke pot because it makes you feel relaxed, if it makes you feel like you're in control, that's up to you. You're going to be able to be the person who's going to be talking to people. But you got to remember, there's a lot of people out there that don't trust people who do drugs. There's a lot of people out there that don't trust people who are drunk, who are stoned, who are just acting out of sorts. And remember, if you work for a good company, they may drug test you, and you could fail a drug test and then lose your job. It would suck. Because if you're making good money and you're showing up every day, good for you. But I've seen too many people who start getting high all the time and they lose their focus. They lose their edge. And it feels good for a little while, but see what happens is they got to try another type of marijuana. They got to try another alcohol, another drug. And you may say, well, I don't use alcohol. I don't do any of that stuff. That's okay. You do what you want to do. But I've learned from personal experience that sometimes it's just best to leave things alone when you're at work. Because remember, when you're at work, you have to have your edge. You have to have your wits about you. And you don't want to be all stoned up into the clouds and you're not being able to focus. Because, see, when customers are talking and your mind is maybe racing and going in a different direction, it's kind of hard to close the easy sales. And remember, you got people that are prejudiced against people who do drugs. You got people who are prejudiced against people who, you know, smoke cigarettes, who drink alcohol. People have their prejudices, and some people, they're okay with you smoke pot. They don't got a problem with it. But then, see, people will say they may not have a problem with it, but they may not buy from you, especially if it's a substantial product. If you're buying cars from people who are all, excuse my language, messed up, if you're buying life insurance or health insurance or insurance from people who are all messed up, people may say, well, I appreciate you stopping by, and they're rubbing their nose going, damn, he smells just like pot. And did you smell his breath? He smelled just like pot. Mama, we ain't gonna buy nothing from those companies. And see, you've put yourself in a bad position, and what you've also done is made your company look really, really bad. Now, if your company's okay with you getting high on occasion and getting high, that's okay. But see, they probably won't. Matter of fact, most companies I work for, they may not drug test your ass because you're a 1099 and you work straight commission and you're paying your own way and so forth. But you get in trouble. You lie to one of your customers, if you sell the product improperly, if you do some things that are not above board, they will hold it against you and they will fire your ass really quick. They may not tell you the real reason, but be careful because people get fired because for whatever reason. And in this day and age, they can have any reason. And if you're starting to come to work late, if you're missing work, if you're starting to smell like pot, if you're starting to do things that are a little bit weird, you can lose a good job. You could lose out on a career. And if you get pulled over and you're messed up, you could get a ticket. you could go to jail. You could get a felony. You could get a misdemeanor, and it could mess up your selling career in the future. And my name is Gary Lee Stanley. I'm your sales guy. Again, I'm not your preacher or your teacher. I'm just sharing with you my thoughts because I've had people ask me what was my opinion. My opinion is you do what you want to do. That's up to you. But remember, when you smoke pot, you can lose sales. You can. And maybe you can get some sales that you probably couldn't because you were more relaxed. So you've got to make that determination. But remember this one thing. If you lose an easy sale because you smell like pot, that sucks. That sucks. When you go home, get fucked up. Excuse my language. Get high. Do what you want to do. But when you're at work, try to maintain decorum because you need to be on your best game when you're selling. So if you want to smoke pot, cool. Go ahead, bro. I ain't got no problem with it. Selling. Could smoking pot cause you to lose sales? Yeah, you know what the answer is. So enjoy your day. If you want to get high, go right ahead and enjoy the ride. All right.